the views maker, sharing information, shaping perspectives. In today's video, we look at how foreign media covered President Trump's maiden visit to India. So without any further ado, let's get started.
My friend, India's friend, the President of the United States of America, Mr. Donald Trump. हम सब खड़े होकर के नमस्ते ट्रम्प, नमस्ते ट्रम्प.
The First Lady and I have just traveled 8,000 miles around the globe to deliver a message to every citizen across this nation. America loves India, America respects India, and America will always be faithful and loyal friends to the Indian people. The life of Prime Minister Modi underscores the limitless promise of this great nation. He started out by his father's side as a chiwala, a tea seller. When he was a young man, he worked at a cafeteria in this city. Stand up. Everybody loves him, but I will tell you this, he's very tough. The Prime Minister and I will also continue our important discussions about how to deepen the relationship between our two great countries. Both of us understand that when leaders put the interests of their own citizens first, we can forge strong and fair partnerships to build a safer and more prosperous world. As we continue to build our defense cooperation, the United States looks forward to providing India with some of the best and most feared military equipment on the planet. We are in the early stages of discussion for an incredible trade agreement to reduce barriers of investment between the United States and India. And I am optimistic that working together, the Prime Minister and I can reach a fantastic deal that's good and even great for both of our countries. Except that he's a very tough negotiator.
Perhaps this was for the president to help promote his struggling brand outside of the United States.
This trip is going to be a lot more style than substance and pageantry over policy.
The president has also been taking in some of the sights, posing for a photo outside the Taj Mahal, as some people noted, the one he didn't bankrupt.
Well, the mainstream media bashing President Trump's visit to India while the world's biggest democracy rolls out the red carpet for a warm welcome. But aren't these trade talks crucial to our economic strategy? President Trump's personal attorney, Jenna Ellis, joins us now to explain the real story behind these important displays of diplomacy. Thank you so much for joining us, Jenna. It's always great to have you with us.
Great to see you, Heather. Good morning.
So first of all, I know that you've been watching with us all the overnight coverage from India. The president coming out with the prime minister there in India talking about the result of the bilateral meetings so far. What's your take on it? And why is the mainstream media trying to basically, downplay exactly what the president is doing in India?
President Trump is absolutely crushing it all around the world and domestically and abroad on the world stage. He is the art of the deal maker. And so we've seen that the phase one of the China deal went through successfully. The USMCA went through successfully. And now he's entering these bilateral trade negotiations with India as one of our partners around the world and on the world stage. So, of course, the fake news mainstream media is going to try to diminish his enormous success by trying to say that somehow the presidential photo ops over at the Taj Mahal and in these really important landmarks that every president, whenever they're visiting a foreign country, of course they partake in some of the pageantry because that's respectful to the country that they're visiting. And of course, they're going to try to minimize the impact of what's really going on here, which is that President Trump is representing America first on the world stage in such a crucial and important way.
Yeah, you just mentioned some of this, but let's bring it up now that you've brought it up. The headlines of some of the media downplaying Trump's visit to India. And as you continue to discuss the efforts underway to, perhaps make people not view this positively. But then take a look at this. India's public views, 37% have some confidence, 30% don't know, or they refuse to answer in terms of this. 19% have a lot of confidence, 7% not too much confidence, and 8% no confidence at all. The question being, how much confidence do you have in Trump to do the right thing in world affairs? So is the media trying to play into this and trying to increase these numbers?
Of course they are. And, we saw that the Namaste Trump rally, there were over 100,000 people in the largest stadium there for President Trump. Coming out was so well received. I mean, I saw all the Twitter feed. Even, how he was retweeted by so many people in India, and he had such a warm welcome and reception. That's the truth, and that's the reality. And so the mainstream media can try to diminish this, but I think that the American people, and certainly the people of India, can see for themselves that President Trump, again, is just absolutely crushing it on the world stage. And he and Prime Minister Modi have a great reciprocal, mutually respectful relationship. And I think that this is going to go very far to make sure that our trade agreements with India are fair to America. They're going to be mutually beneficial to our two countries and are going to promote not only the economic security as well of both of our countries, but also the shared values of democracy that both of our constitutions provide and preserve and protect. And one of those things, Heather, that's not getting a lot of media attention is religious freedom. And the fact that President Trump's administration has really prioritized religious freedom around the world, and that's certainly something that's going to be on the focus of this India trip. All
right, and you'll be talking about that and more coming up at CPAC later this week, and we will be tuning into that as well. Thank you so much, Jenna. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Heather.
All right.
Namaste, Trump. Namaste, Trump.
Namaste. Namaste. And hello to India. This is such a great honor. Let me begin by expressing my profound gratitude to an exceptional leader, a great champion of India, a man who works night and day for his country, and a man I am proud to call my true friend, Prime Minister Modi. The First Lady and I have just traveled 8,000 miles around the globe to deliver a message to every citizen across this nation. America loves India, America respects India, and America will always be faithful and loyal friends to the Indian people.
Kicking off his first official visit to India as U.S. president, with a handshake and hug from Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Donald Trump's two-day trip is slated to be heavy on pomp and circumstance. It starts with a joint rally at the world's biggest cricket stadium. More than 100,000 are expected for the meeting dubbed Namaste Trump. Before leaving Washington, the U.S. president said he was looking forward to it.
It's a long trip, but I get along very well with the Prime Minister Modi. He's a friend of mine. I committed to this trip a long time ago, and I look forward to going. We're taking, as you know, the First Lady's coming. I hear it's going to be a big event. Some people say the biggest event they've ever had in India. That's what the Prime Minister told me. This will be the biggest event they've ever had. Very much.
The visit comes just months after Modi was welcomed to Texas with a mass rally, as the right-wing populist leaders have cultivated warm personal ties. But tensions aren't far from the surface, with Indian authorities hoping protests over the country's controversial citizenship law will stay out of the spotlight, and criticism following the state's move to evict dozens of families living around the new stadium in Ahmedabad. Meanwhile, in the capital of New Delhi on Tuesday, the two world leaders will take up the thorny issue of trade. Reports suggest a wide-ranging deal is unlikely, though smaller side agreements could be on the table.
India and the United States are making progress on trade talks. That's according to US President Donald Trump, speaking after holding talks with India's Narendra Modi on Tuesday.
Prime Minister Modi is forging bilateral economic relationships that is fair and reciprocal. Our teams have made tremendous progress on a comprehensive trade agreement, and I'm optimistic we can reach a deal that will be of great importance to both countries.
The two countries have been trying to close their differences over agriculture, digital trade and tariffs, but have announced a $3 billion deal to buy military equipment, including attack helicopters.
Earlier today, we expanded our defense cooperation with agreements for India to purchase more than $3 billion of advanced American military equipment, including Apache and MH-60 Romeo helicopters, the finest in the world.
Trump's first official visit to India, one of the few big countries where his personal approval rating is above 50%, has been full of spectacle, with Modi pulling out all the stops, including a private visit to the Taj Mahal and a stadium of 100,000 plus people calling out Namaste Trump on Monday.
Namaste Trump! Namaste!
But Modi could not hide the country's bubbling domestic tensions. Violent protests broke out in Delhi on Monday over a new citizenship law that critics say discriminates against Muslims. The clashes in the same city as Trump's speech have left 7 dead and 150 wounded.